Hounslow. Be it any break-in, or it was vandalizing any property, private property, or harassing anyone, we definitely condemn that. We are also expressing our confidence in the police investigation, and we must not do anything which in any event undermines the police investigation. So we expect and hope as a community that the police investigation will reveal everything, and it will get to the bottom of it, who is responsible, and they will be brought to justice. Number three, in terms of community and reputation of the trust has nothing to do with it. Any insinuation, any implications or efforts to imply that the trust had anything to do with it is rejected as false. And we believe that the community, and we expect our community in Hounslow, in particular the Muslim community in Hounslow, to come to the fore and discourage these people. Try to tell them that this is not the way to vent your concerns, even if you had ones. And please at least be truthful about it. These are the things that we wanted to communicate today in summary. And I think I'll just pass it on to my brother Shafiq. I think he's going to say a few words last, and that will be the end of the today's press briefing.
Raja, just to come to your question, just slight clarification. The four people we mentioned, they're not relatives of mine. Friends, not relatives. The four people in question. Neither is any my relative, nor Farooq, directly not name alone. So they're not my relative. Yes, friends, yes. Coming on to your second point, yes, we all agree. It's very good to have a very trust. Um, but unfortunately, when we look for trustees, one of the things that we try to ascertain is how much time people can give the mosque. And this is where we struggle to find people who genuinely can give a lot of time to a mosque. This is not a small institute. This is a very big setup. Alhamdulillah. Your third question, and I'm actually going to request you, with this campaign against the mosque, the duty rests with the community. You have a duty to bring these people. And oh, sorry.
बात तो हो ही गई है, बस अब दुआ करें तो.
Yeah, just finish. Then ask, because like मैं पहले भी कह चुका हूँ, this is collective. Mosque is the community center, is a community mosque. It's not the trustees' ownership. So everyone needs to get out. Yes, if you feel that we are doing something wrong, you come to us. If you feel they are doing something wrong, which I think you all know they are doing something wrong, then you need to go to them and bring them in and say, don't do this. This is where we are failing. We are not saying wrong to wrong. We are not actually going to these people and say, listen, you've started this campaign, you don't have any proof, now stop that campaign. That's the problem I have. But inshallah, I would say Jazakallah khair to every one of you for today. And inshallah, thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you. Welcome.
God bless you.
Good evening. Welcome to my respected media, my counselors and respected audience. Today we call you and say thank you for your coming here. As you are aware, last week there was 3 incidents happened in our Hounslow. Being a chairman of Hounslow Jamia Masjid, I strongly condemn this one. It's not happening. Masjid is a only worship. There is no length in these activities of masjid. Especially everybody has a right to come to pray, either it's any party. We must be care for this part. Masjid is the only worship, or we are sitting here for the service of public. So furthermore, my general secretary and joint secretary will explain why it is happening, why masjid they are putting the name of our masjid. Thank you very much.
Jazakallah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
Rahim. Good evening to everybody. Welcome to
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله ولتنظر نفس ما قدمت لغد واتقوا الله إن الله خبير بما تعملون.
Welcome and welcome to everyone, our members of the press, local councillors, um, and members from London Borough of Hounslow as well, and members of the community, and members from our other community centres or mosques in Hounslow as well. Firstly, many thanks for coming tonight and joining us. Today's event is very, very important. We are thankful for all of you for taking time out today on Bank Holiday Monday, and obviously for going such a beautiful day outside as well. So, as our chairman has said, it's quite unfortunate, and I'm really actually quite sad that we are gathered here today in these circumstances where we are having to put across an explanation or as to the events which are currently happening around Hounslow. Now, you all know what happened, and the Board of Trust is actually very concerned that the events which have occurred over the last week, that there are events circulating in the media, in particular, and on social media as well, that these recent events are somehow linked to Hounslow Jama Masjid. I am really very, very surprised. We are very upset and disappointed that and disappointed at why these unfounded allegations are being circulated on social media. This is a time for the community to come together, not a time for the community to become disunited by false propaganda. Not only do the trustees of the mosque condemn in the strongest terms the events that have occurred over the last few days, but we also have full faith and confidence in the Met Police. And I'm sure they will get to the bottom of these particular events. It's our duty to leave it to them. They have the investigative powers, and leave it to them. And I'm sure they will find out the truth, who and who is behind this. It is not for us as a community to come up with allegations and pinpoint blame around the community. And we as a community, I'm saying, not just as the trustees, we as a community will always extend any support required to the police at any time if that is required. Our assistance is always there in resolving these matters. Now, it's really quite unfortunate because when we saw the social media clips and an article by one of the newspapers, one of the media outlets, in where the mosque is mentioned quite categorically. Now, as a community, we all have a duty to protect the mosque. The mosque's reputation is paramount. We as a trustees, above all, it's the mosque reputation which is really important and paramount to us. And that is one of the reasons why we've actually called this press conference today, because we felt that a time has now come where we do our duty to the community to explain the current situation from the perspective of the mosque as to what has been happening, why it has happened. Uh, we are not really sure why our name is mentioned, but there's a background, I think, which may make it easier to understand why these certain individuals are really pinpointing Hounslow Jama Masjid in the forefront of these activities, which are totally unrelated to Hounslow Jama Masjid. Now, so let me backtrack slightly. Now, most of the community knows that it's unfortunate, but since June 2024, and we are nearly 2 years, there was a sustained campaign against the mosque. I don't think there is anyone here who has not received an online social media message regarding the mosque. And this campaign is really orchestrated by a very small number of individuals. They've set out to really malign the mosque with negative statements through video messages, social media, etc. But what has this resulted in? This has resulted in really tension within the community. And in some instances, serious instances have happened, including an attack on the home of a trustee. In March 25, we had an incident in the mosque, which was widely reported in the media, incident of fray in the mosque. As a result, two individuals associated with that particular group have been charged with a fray, and now they are awaiting a court date on that. So this is again unfortunate. This is not what the mosque is there for. This is not what the community is there for. And I cannot, in the strongest terms, condemn this type of behavior, believe me, because it makes our life as trustees extremely difficult to manage the situation. Moving past that, then, like I said, this whole activity started back June 24. Over the past year, more allegations have made around mosque governance, service, decision making, etc. Now, we as the trustees take these allegations very seriously. We've reviewed our internal procedures, matters, and every single allegation is totally unfounded. But this sort of information still carries on being circulated, this inaccurate information, which really, again, what it does, it creates unnecessary division, and it's not really a true reflection of the values of unity, respect, integrity that we as a mosque really want to uphold. As a trust, you all know we are governed by various organizations. Your Charity Commission is a primary organization, and we have a legal duty to cooperate with the Charity Commission in any investigation that they would like to carry out, and that's been done at any point in time. And to be honest, we welcome outside scrutiny any particular time. We have no issues with that. But we are all up for outside scrutiny, and the findings of that scrutiny will always be shared with the community and the public. But what I think is unfair is to malign the mosque in various instances, which has been continuously happening, and to further malign the mosque in the events of last week or so, which I think is totally unacceptable. Now, from a trust perspective, we are really considering our next course of action in terms of the events which have happened and why the mosque has been mentioned quite categorically. And we obviously will do everything we can do to protect the reputation of the mosque. And that's our duty, and we will continue to do that. Now, it's quite unfortunate that, and I've never really understood that, when an incident occurs with these 3 or 4 people, and I will name these people in detail, and I'm doing that with great reluctance, believe me, because that's not something we would like to do. But we unfortunately have been forced to do this. For 2 years, we've been very, very silent in the background. We've been tackling these things at a trust level, at a legal level. But today, it's unfortunate that because these people have openly gone out, mentioned the mosque, we feel that we have a duty now to put the truth or what the reality is out in the public domain. I'm going to start with the 2 people who made this statement, Mr. Umar Farouk and Mr. Tariq Aziz. They made a very bold statement. I say bold because it's bold in the sense that it's a very, very untrue and fabricated statement, because I'm really not sure how anyone, when there's a ongoing police investigation, how anyone can go on camera and be so responsible to say that we believe that it is the biggest mosque, West London, that is behind all this. And to take allegations further, bring in a political spin on this. Let me make one thing perfectly clear. Hounslow Jame Masjid, we will facilitate political parties, but Hounslow Jame Masjid does not support and will not endorse any political party. What I personally do, or Brother Zubair personally does, that's a totally different matter. Mosque has always given a platform to all political parties in a very open way, and they will continue to do so. But for some reason, I don't know why these brothers have tried to put a political spin on it. I'm totally bemused by that, and why that political spin has come back to Hounslow Mosque. And I think mentioning things like um, the mosque is funding X party or etc. etc. I mean, I don't really feel I need to even go into details on that because you all know there is no way a mosque can fund any political party. It's totally absurd even to think about it. So why are these people against mosques? So and why over the last 2 years there has been a continuous malignment of the mosque, and why are these? What is the agenda behind it? Because for someone to do something like this, they must have a reason for it. Why would you come up suddenly, decide to take up a agenda against Hamza Jami Masjid? Now, it's unfortunate that I'm going to start with Umar Farooq first. Umar Farooq's brother's company used to be the insurance broker for the mosque, um, and they used to provide these services. Unfortunately, about 3 years ago, we had to change the broker for various reasons, nothing personal, but it was more they couldn't deliver the service that we required, and also as a price, the comparative quote is much cheaper. So what happened? That was an issue which I think they did not like. They also, before the elections, they called a meeting with some of our trustees and requested that we catapult two of their people into the trust, which we categorically said we cannot do. There's an election process. Please follow election process. Um, from that day onwards, they've developed an issue with the mosque. Let's talk about Mr. Tariq Aziz. Mr. Tariq Aziz is a very unfortunate incident. Now we all